Hey everyone, this is War Tiger, also known as Zackass, and this is DLC Quest. This is a satirical game that poses the question of what happens when DLC goes a little too far. This game is more of a series of jokes. It's not really a full-on game, you know, it's just going around showing you the crazy examples of what is actually either going to happen or what's already happening with DLC. I mean, I guess you could even call it an artistic statement if you like. I'm going to be mainly going off on a rant here about DLC, but I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit of the game first. Okay, so right now, I mean, you literally cannot move any direction but right. It's pretty funny, but it's a little extreme. It's not exactly how bad things are getting quite yet. And here it even makes jokes about animations and sound effects, which, you know, really isn't all that outlandish when you think about it, because some games like Crusader Kings 2 will actually sell you songs as DLC, and other games like Saints Row 3 will sell you kung fu animations and things like that. And of course it does poke fun at grinding, quite literally. Yeah, this is pretty intense. Yeah. Of course, like any good game, you can go to the store and buy a DLC pack so you can grind faster. Is that a joke? Well, no, actually, this sort of thing does happen already. Oh, Gotham City imposters. I mean, that does seem a little dirty to me. I mean, you don't want to waste time grinding, so hey, let's just spend some money. Of course, you know, there's a little hot coffee in here too. Oh yeah. And of course, who can forget the horse mounts?
Oh wow! This is so foolish! This was totally worth $25!
Now, the game itself really does just amount to, you know, jumping around and collecting coins, but that's really not what the game is about, you know, it's making a statement here.
Oh cool, a totally awesome cosmetic gun pack, and it's balanced too.
Of course, I'm sure the old sword can kill the zombies just fine. Maybe not.
Nope, not unbalanced at all. You know, Gotham City Imposters did something just like this. It actually released updates that had DLC packs for guns that you could not get unless you actually paid money. But worse than that, the packs came with perks that countered the weapons in the gun pack. So you couldn't really counter these weapons effectively unless you bought them. Great! Don't worry though, they fixed it. They separated them into separate packs. You know, now you can just buy the perks, or you can just buy the weapons themselves for the low price of $10 fucking. And you know, the game was only $15 before it was free to play. So now we're gonna start to divert a little bit from DLC Quest. You know, another thing that's not really DLC related, but is still really annoying, is DMR, forcing you to connect to the internet in order to play the game. Games have been doing this in a way for a little while now, especially with games for Windows Live, but not nearly as bad as with the new SimCity game. You actually cannot play the game unless you are connected to the internet. You know, not everyone has an internet connection, and the people that do don't necessarily have a great one. So imagine being in an intense moment in the game, and then right when it starts to really get good, bam, your internet disconnects. And then your game shuts off. And why even? So the game developers can prevent a little bit of piracy and maybe marginally increase their sales? When are they going to learn that a pirated game does not equate to money out of their pocket? But you know, I do expect this kind of behavior from EA. Let's talk about The Sims 3. It has the largest amount of DLC that I've seen in any other game, with maybe the exception of Trains DLC. On their site, they have DLC that ranges from chairs to beds to cars to more chairs to counters to top hat wearing bunny toothbrush holders. I guess it is a little cute though. You can also buy a wide range of islands and clothes and hairstyles and all that stuff, which, you know, is what the game is about, you know, customizing your character, so that's fine. But you gotta start thinking about the price here, okay? Let's think about the price. On their site, you can buy compilation packs, which is essentially everything they produced in that month put in one pack, with the exception of like some of the islands and stuff like that. And you know, and these packs can range anywhere from $20 to $50, and they contain about 50 to 100 items. So when you start doing the math here, that's about 50 cents for a fucking chair. I mean, that's pretty much like going to a virtual yard sale, only you're the one getting screwed. What's worse is that it feels like EA purposely leaves out items when they first released the next series in their game. Sims 2 basically had no items. You had 2 copies of pretty much everything. You know, you had the cheap version and the expensive version. So you had like a $10 couch and a $1,000 couch. There was no middleman. You had to buy that. And they did the same exact thing in The Sims 3. The original Sims had all these expansions like pets and magic and being a superstar, okay? But they didn't add that in the next game. Instead, they just took all that away so they had plenty of room to expand in the next game. I mean, I could understand that, you know, they can't just add everything, but I mean, pets? Really? You couldn't just add in a dog or a cat? I mean, it's just the simplest addition. And they did the exact same thing in The Sims 3. They just kept repeating, so you're buying the same damn thing, just with an upgraded engine. All the compilation packs on the site are gonna run you about $800, and that's not even everything on this site. Now, I know that is a lot of content that they're adding. Is that really all worth over 15 times the original base price of the game? I mean, really, how hard is it to make a hairstyle or a chair anyway? Of course, EA aren't the only ones crapping on their fan base. Call of Duty does the same damn thing. Call of Duty launches at $60, and then it has a season pass for $50. Well, the season pass gives you the 4 upcoming map packs. Each of them have 4 maps, so you get 16 maps for $50. And you think, hey, that's a good deal, because I'm only paying $50 for 16 maps when the original game only came with 14 for $60. No, that's not what it means. Maps are not the only thing that goes into a game. There's textures and animations and voice acting and sound effects and music and modeling and weapon design and story development and engine mechanics. And even after all that, you still have to do all the beta testing and bug fixes. Oh yeah, but wait, COD has been using the same engine since 1866.
Yeehaw, Call of Duty! Killing damn Reds! I believe the politically correct term is Native American.
And here's the biggest problem with Call of Duty DLC. Each map pack splits up the community, because if you don't have a map and the server switches to that map, you get kicked out. So if you want the highest chance of getting in the game, you need all the map packs. Of course, some servers instead just don't even host the DLC maps, because who the hell wants to spend $15 for 4 maps? The only people who buy the map packs are the hardcore fans who always buy the next installment in the series. So they're actually really worthless once the game goes on to the next installment. I mean, look at the first Black Ops. Nobody plays the DLC maps. So pretty much they just milk all the idiots. They're gonna buy all the DLC packs while screwing over the community. And then the next game in the series rolls out so they can start selling the game and the season pass and all that crap too. And you know, now they're starting to sell weapons with the DLC packs.
Oh, but don't worry, I'm sure they won't be unbalanced.
Now let's look at Rocksmith. The game launched for about $50 or $60. I think it was $60 on the console. And it's currently $30 right now. And the game launched with 50 songs plus 6 bonus songs. And now there's over 119 DLC songs. Math time! So Rocksmith launched at $50 and is currently $30. You got 50 songs plus 6 songs for 56 total songs. $50 divided by 56 songs is 89 cents per song. $30 divided by 56 songs is 53 cents per song. There's 119 DLC songs for $2.99 each. It's about 33% cheaper if you buy the 23 song packs. All 23 song packs are $211.77. Divide that by 119 songs and you get $1.78 per song. That's a 100% increase from 89 cents and a 236% increase from 53 cents. Now that's what I call the cash grab. So it's more than twice as profitable for them to make DLC than it is for them to make the entire game. I mean, how hard is it to actually make a song in there anyway? You know, Rhythm Zone lets you select any song you like, and then it just runs it through its song generator. I'm sure they have the same damn technology, it's the same thing. And yet that's worth double the effort of making the entire game? And apparently there's a lot more song DLC for consoles than there are for PC. Isn't that where we can start officially drawing the line? When simply produced DLC starts netting the devs more money than all the work they did in the entire game? I mean, that's like paying $20,000 for a car and then $40,000 for a paint job and spinner hubcaps. Okay, I suck at this game. At the same time, I do think there are good DLCs. You know, like Shogun 2, for example. They had some pretty good DLC. Rise of the Samurai and Fall of the Samurai both expanded on the game by adding new campaigns and units and all that kind of stuff. Granted, they also spammed a bunch of Clan Faction DLC and a Kill Bill style Blood Effects pack, so it was really hit or miss, but I feel like they were on the right track. Fallout is another example of what I'd call pretty good DLC. They added new adventures with, you know, new enemies and weapons and storyline and new areas and quests. And when these were released, I think they were only like $10, so it's not like they were charging you an arm and a leg. This isn't to say that DLC has to come in big content packs, with all kinds of different stuff. I still think it can be possible to sell small amounts of content at a time, but this is really where we want to think about the context in which it comes. And I guess this is where the most important bit of the rant comes from. DLC, it can be a good thing, and sometimes I do like DLC, but we as a community must define what is acceptable for DLC and what isn't. I think DLC should be fairly priced, and by that I mean it should be relative to the amount of work they put into it. Like, if it just takes 2 seconds, then why not just release it for free? I guarantee it's going to make your fan base like you a lot more. The next thing is it should never split up the community. I mean, you don't want to release some DLC that's just going to screw over the whole game and then make it unplayable for everybody. And it definitely shouldn't be giving people unfair advantages. I mean, that's basically allowing cheating for a price. And finally, developers should never remove content from the original game so they can release it as DLC later. Mass Effect 3 did that for sure, and I'm starting to think that a lot of game developers are starting to do the same thing. But that's a really big problem because we don't actually know what they originally intended to put in the game and what was just later separately created as DLC. So really, it comes down to honesty. Are they trying to just make a quick buck? Or are they genuinely interested in producing a quality product? I know I'm repeating myself, but it's coming to the point where we as a community need to stand up together and decide what is acceptable and what isn't. The best way to fight this is just don't buy into DLC practices you don't agree with. And of course, start spreading the word and getting people involved. I want to hear your opinions, so please comment below and tell me what you think.